Welcome everyone to another episode of the Most Potato Podcast. The podcast where we delude ourselves to do crimes.
Yeah, the Lulu.
My name's Alvin.
I'm Jess.
And today we are talking about The Penguin. Season finale, series finale. I don't know what to call it. I don't know if we're going to get a season 2, but we're here. We're here. We're at the end. And I'm at a loss for words.
I'm so hurt. I'm confused.
I just want to talk about it already, but I can't. I have a plan. I need to let the pain sit a little bit longer.
I'm so upset.
Yes. So today we're going to be talking about the ending of The Penguin, episode 8. And my God, I thought that we were done with all like the gut punch flashbacks, and then they just keep coming with new information and new pain. Yeah. The way that this episode opened with the flashback of Frances talking to that gangster Rex, and we're seeing her like in her current state as the older version, not like a younger version. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really interesting. I was like, oh great, what the fuck are we gonna find out this time?
I know, I was so confused for a second. I was like, did I miss something? And I was just like
why is she old in this flashback?
Yeah, and then I started to put it together, and then I was just like,
fucking Julian.
Yeah. You finally have some sort of use right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so it opens up with another flashback. We find one more reveal, and we learn that Frances talked to Rex about what to do with little baby Oz after finding out that he was the one that killed his brothers. And she knew the whole time. Which I honestly didn't find that as like a big, shocking reveal. I always just assumed that Frances had known in the back of her mind and that she just was living with it. That was my assumption. I didn't have any like hard evidence to believe that. I just thought... I feel like she's the type of person that would sweep that under the rug. She is very weak-willed, and then, I don't know, she's like the type of person that just needs to be cared for, and I feel like part of that is the reason why she hesitated with what to do with Oz. Because she needs a man in her life. She doesn't have a grown adult man. All we got left is baby Oz.
You mean demon baby Oz.
Yeah.
I know, I was actually surprised that she knew the whole time, and it made it... I don't know. I was just like, fuck, like, you living with this lady? Like, I don't know. And then, like, as the scene continued and, like, she was like, oh, I know because of the flashlight that was in his pocket and all that stuff. She's like, and he sat there and he just didn't say anything. And I was just like, I was feeling...
Sipping his hot cocoa.
Yeah. I was, like, feeling all, like, just the pain in that conversation that she was having. Because she's like, what do I do? Like... He's evil, like he's a monster. Yeah. And like for her to think that of a child, it makes sense because I was like, he's evil, he's a monster. And I was so surprised to find out that she actually like knew and she was trying to figure out what to do. And then when Rex suggested, he's just like, you can either mold him and use this type of behavior, or, you know, I could take him for a ride, you know? And I was just like, and I was joking too. I remember before he even said anything, I was just like, well, we just gonna pop him? And then like he said, I was joking.
And the way Frances was just like, you would help me with that?
I know. I was like
almost excited to get rid of Oz. I was like, yikes, lady, Jesus. It just made me think about like, look, I get Gotham is a really rundown place. It's supposed to be representative of how impoverished cities are where there's very little resources for people. But it's like, I don't know, man. If you're a good mom, you're going to do whatever it takes to do what's best for you and your family. Like, if your kid is showing antisocial behavior like that, where he's killing his brothers, listen, you could... I don't know if therapy was an option. She could have tried that, but then there's a whole crime.
Put him down. Put him down.
I don't know. It made me really think a lot about, like, what other options could she have had? Again, probably very limited options, but things that were not crime related.
Well, I'm just gonna think for, you know, this story, these characters, Gotham, she could have just either what Rex suggested, or she could have turned him in. Like there would have been like proof, and he probably would have ended up like in Arkham if Arkham was a thing then. Like he would have just ended up somewhere there, and he probably still would have been the Penguin eventually. But I wouldn't want to deal with that. Like the pain that she's clearly like that scene. You could just tell she's like, what do I do with this? You know, and there's no resources. So she's trying to do the best that she can, but maybe she's also a little bit scared, obviously hurt. But I feel like the best thing for her would have been to either like go for a ride in Rex in his fancy car, or just turn him in. Like, that's it. I can't believe, like, I'm not saying like she's an awful person for like living with it. I mean, it's
I
bad.
say she is. I claim that.
You do, really?
I'm on the hater side. I'm not gonna lie.
You're on the hater side. I feel like I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
But like, I can somewhat understand her reasoning for it, but then it's also, when I understand her reasoning for it, it's also like very selfish, because the fact that she's like, I can mold him, maybe one day he'll make it big, and then I'll be living good, that sort of stuff, and it goes
What a
right
hell of a
back.
life.
Yeah, it goes right back to this weird like relationship that they have, his obsession with her, and then like her need for someone to take care of her. That's where I'm just like, this is just wrong. I'm like, he just,
all of it's fucked up.
It's so fucked up. But yeah, so I mean, I can see like all the sides, and I'm like, I have 3 options. I would have probably just turned him in.
That might have been like the most morally correct thing to do if you have just those options.
Yeah.
Just turn in your son for this crime if you know that, if you have that evidence.
Yeah.
Either way, all options will be hurtful. Yeah. Either way, it's so fucked up, but probably turning him into the cops was probably like the best possible
Because if you
option.
send that kid for a ride, I feel like somehow she gonna get linked, and she gonna be right in Arkham or jail or wherever they put her as well too. So let somebody else do it.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then and when Rex mentioned how he basically talked about whenever he has people coming to him to want to work with him, he says that whenever there's somebody that is looking for a father figure, I can use that. And he relays that to her. It's like, you can use him, you can mold him. He's not looking for a father figure. He's got you. Yeah. So it's your choice what to do with him. And that just completely explains Oz's behavior as an adult. He does the same thing with Vic. He's just grooming this kid to be a tool. He never genuinely loved this kid. And we now understand where he gets that philosophy from, is he was raised from doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Seeing Rex talk about it so calmly and coldly was just like, ugh. It gave me the chills. And it doesn't help that he's got a scary looking face.
Yeah, no, you kept talking about his face.
Yeah.
How stupid he looked.
He just looks super chiseled, like a Stonehenge.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. And I mean, it was
supposed to creep us out and gross us out.
Yeah, it was weird. I was just like, that sounds funny. I don't like that. What do you mean? And I guess that's what Frances latched onto. I mean, because she could see, like, look at what this kid did just so he could have me to himself. Like, just so he can be the one to take care of me, as he says, or, give me whatever I want. And I just, I don't know. It's just really weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird. And I was surprised she went with that route. I mean, obviously she did, because, I mean, look at where he is now as an adult. But it's just still, like, it's really wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the jazz scene was also another haunting moment where Frances is basically setting up his murder right there.
Yeah.
And that's like the deciding factor of where she decides she's not going to go through with it. But seeing it play out and her pretending to just have a good time with Oz, and Oz is telling her all this stuff about, like, I know what you want, Ma, I know what you need, and I know even if you don't believe me, just trust that I'll get everything done for you. And then he reads her too. He's just like, I know when you pretend to be happy, like you smile but you're not really happy. I know when you're in deep thought, when you're smoking cigarettes. I'm like, who is this kid? Like, he's low key, like, kind of a little bit past his years. Like, he's kind of intelligent, which is kind of, it makes it even creepier.
Yeah.
Because he has a level of intelligence that is above a regular child, but he's using it to be fixated on getting this mother's approval, even if it means being like a criminal.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was really haunting, and it just made me think of, like, I just don't want to go to jazz clubs now. I just feel like people are going to be doing dark dealings in jazz clubs.
Probably.
It was so bizarre.
Yeah, it was a little, it was funny, but it was also very strange. I'm just like, why are you, like, watching her so much like this? Like, it was weird to just hear from a kid, and he has this cute little voice too, and he's always like,
it's so cute, and it makes it worse.
I know, the actor is so cute. I'm like, he's so little, and I'm just like, and then he has to play this, like,
this
like
slime ball.
Yeah, from a young age, and I was just like, now that we know, like, how all of this, like, played out, because, like, it's so funny. I thought last week's episode, I was just like, what's gonna top this? I mean, like, the last episode has to top it, but, like, the scene with him locking his brothers in there in the sewers.
You feel like it can't be topped with how horrendous.
Yeah, and then somehow like just everything just being revealed how it is, and knowing where this all starts for him. I'm like, oh my God, this show is sick. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then we flash forward to the current day where Oz and Francis are now captured by Sophia. Mm-hmm. And we see that this fucking Oz, he will never stop lying. Like, why the fuck are you lying in front of your mom? She's about to die. Yeah. She's about to lose fingers right now.
Yes.
She's getting tortured, and you're still lying to Sophia and your mom about what you did to your brothers.
I know. Sophia even had a whole similar story.
she did a whole story about two little birds.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
And I'm just like, you could see him like piecing it together. He's like, oh.
And he's still lying through his teeth.
And he's still lying. And
what are you talking about?
Yeah, like she's not right. She's, her head's not right, all that stuff. And then I was just like, can you just, clearly everyone knows. It's just at this point, everyone
it's like an
knows.
Intervention for you, Oz. Yes. Just come out and say it.
And I'm just like, I don't know if, if they would have done the scene differently anyway. I don't feel like Sophia would have killed Francis.
Yeah.
Clearly after what Julian pulled out of her, I don't think she would have probably done anything to this woman. It's obviously about hurting Oz, but when he won't tell the truth, and she realizes that you don't care about her. You don't care about her as much as you say that you do. And then for me, I was just like, you know what? I think she's right. Like,
yeah.
The whole time I was thinking like he really is driven and doing all this for his mom. But then when we get the flashback and we get the truth, we're just like, something's just wrong with this kid, with this man. Something's just very, very wrong. Mm-hmm. And like at this point, Frances, she just I always felt like she was like a hostage at this point. And I couldn't believe that she had to be the one that just yells and be like, I hate you. You're a disappointment. All this stuff. She's like, tell the truth. Like, I already know. She's like, I've known this whole time. And then the look on his face and then the look on my face. And then I was just like, oh my God. Yeah.
I totally 100% agree when Sophia says that you don't care about your mom. I think he cares more about just the approval, because we see time and time again, he just wants reinforcement of his behavior. Mm-hmm. That's not the same as loving somebody, because you're trying to get a transaction out of that person.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's all he fixates on, and the fact that he still can't admit that he killed his brothers to his mom, while her fingers are about to get chopped, like they're bleeding.
Yes.
And he still won't fucking do it. It really just, this is the final nail in the coffin to prove that this guy is scum. He is not a man of the people like some people make him out to be. Mm-hmm. The only reason he got the power back in Crown Point is to get his operation for his drugs going, and maybe to get some heat for his ma.
Yeah.
And that was it. It wasn't because he cares about anyone. It's not because he wants to give people jobs. It's all about his interests. Mm-hmm. And just that one moment right there with his mom where he still was willing to sacrifice her fucking fingers. I'm just like, who are you trying to prove this to at this point? Everybody knows the truth. Yeah. Who are you lying to besides yourself?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Oh, man.
It's, God, this show does such a fantastic job of, like, making fleshed out characters who are just completely gone. They're just so mentally just fucked up. Mm-hmm. I appreciate how, like, this show does not try to absolve anybody of their crimes. Everybody here is a shitbag to different degrees. Mm-hmm. And there's no way you could argue that Oz is any sort of a decent person, especially when we get into things that happen later on in this episode.
Guys.
But then when we see that Francis, like you mentioned, says, I hate you. I regret everything. I'm sick of you. I don't want to look at you. Mm-hmm. And then takes a glass bottle and stabs him in the gut. That's proof right there that she doesn't love Oz either. Like, she does not love this kid. Never loved this kid. Like, when you had the conversation with Rex, she mentioned briefly, like, oh, I've already accepted what he is. Mm-hmm. Kind of like saying, like, I don't love him. Like, he's a failure to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was also referring to, like, his disability as well. But
I think she was, because I can't remember what scene it was, if it was in the flashback, or if it was, when she was confronting him. Maybe it was the flashback, but she mentioned something about there was always, like, enough of, like, her love and her attention
she did
for
say
everyone.
That, yeah.
I can't remember when that was, but I mean,
you're right.
Yeah, I don't feel like she, like, ever, like, hated him before, but she was like, there was always like enough, and he just couldn't see that because he wanted her all to himself. Yeah. So I mean, I can't, like, we don't get enough, like, you know, flashback or time or scenes with
we
like
got
how they
I don't know if I can handle any more.
Yeah, no, I guess just of like their family life, you know, before like the specific scene. But obviously this was something that was festering in Oz when he was a little kid. But she said that there was enough, and I think that's what really makes me believe that she cared for all three of them, you know, equally. But I also feel like I don't know. Maybe she should have shown it more. Or I don't know if it would have done anything. Like, I just wonder what was in this kid. Like, where did it start?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So this man is so far gone. Like, we know that Frances doesn't even like him either.
Yeah, she really doesn't. And I feel like her being able to admit that is like, you could see her, like, I feel like she like felt free to finally do that.
Yeah.
To finally say it. I felt like there was something lifted off for her to do that.
Which is so fucking sad.
I know, especially like she has to, you know, stab him with a bottle and all that stuff. And, you know, then she saw the boys, who looked like zombies.
Yes.
Yes. Your
drowned zombies.
Yes. Who looked like zombies like you wanted. Yeah, she sees them, and I felt like it was finally just like this whole time she should have said something, or I don't know. It was like a relief finally for her, and then she fell and hit her head.
Yeah.
And I was like,
well, she had a stroke. That's what caused her to fall.
Well, yeah, then it was a lot for her.
Yeah.
I actually feel for Frances. I really do. Like, I mean, I know you're like, she's
low-key hater, not gonna lie.
Yeah, you are. But like, given everything, I'm just like, damn.
No, I get it.
I could feel a little bit for her.
Yeah.
I don't agree with all her choices, but
yeah. No, that makes total sense. And it's a complicated, messy situation, and that's what makes this show so brilliant about like showcasing people in Gotham. I really appreciated that they took the time to not just make her like an outright hateable person. Like, yeah, I don't like her really, but like you mentioned, I understand her perspective. I understand where she's coming from, why she came to those choices.
Yeah.
Do I agree with them? Hell no. But seeing that unfold and seeing how these people operate, I think was really fun and very interesting to watch, because you understand how people turn to crime.
yeah.
So I think the show just nailed it with this whole study between Oz and Frances, and just that being like a microcosm of what people go through during like a situation where you're just dealing with extreme poverty.
Yeah, because a lot of the characters, like from the very beginning, like I'm thinking how we were rooting for Sophia, and then I like at the end of this, I'm not rooting for anybody. Like, you know,
that's fair. Yeah,
it's.
I don't think we should be.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, because I don't know, there a lot of wrong has happened to them. Some of it has turned them into, you know, the people that they are currently. So it would make sense for you to be like, oh, well, this makes sense why, you know, they're doing this specific thing, but they're also harming a lot of people in the process, and it's just like, did you really have to do that? Like, it's just some things they're doing is just not forgivable. Like, it's really hard. Yeah.
I still can't get over the fact that Oz was able to escape that situation. Like, he just has the power of, I don't know, John Wick, the power of super luck. He somehow was able to shoot off a couple people and take his mom to the hospital. I'm just like, I guess, you know what? I'll just take it. It's a short season. Fine. He needs to get away. It's called the Penguin. He has to live.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of funny. And then this is like one complaint that I have about the season. I just kind of wish it was like a longer season where where Oz goes to meet with that councilman at the courthouse, and he basically sneaks himself to be in line to be part of like the council and have like a seat in government after feeding this guy some valuable information on, you know, the Maronis and the Falcones killing each other. I know that I think in the comics at some point Oz does work for government, and that's how he's able to gain power. Just a lot like Kingpin in the Daredevil series. I thought that was interesting, but I wish there was more time to let that cook, because it happened so quick.
Yeah.
I found it kind of hard to believe that he could just get a seat in the local government without like more pushback, more like story with that. And again, it's because it's an 8-episode series. You don't really have the time to flesh stuff out like that.
Yeah.
But I just felt that was kind of like shoehorn and random, just to be like, look, we got to get Oz to level up because he's going to be a problem for Batman later.
Yeah. And then I feel for that, it's just the guy that he was speaking with, he's also like,
he's vile as shit.
Yeah,
so it makes sense why.
Whether it's him, anyone in on the council, any political figure, the cops, they're all bought in some sort of way by someone. And then, like you said, a lot of like the gangs, they're constantly flip-flopping. Once they're on this side, once they're on that side. So if the cops can be bought and, any of these politicians can be bought, it makes sense. And then the way Oz was wording everything to him, he's just like, think of how that would look. And you'll go straight to the top and all that stuff. So
good salesman,
yeah,
motherfucker.
That's what he is. He's a good salesman. I like that. Yeah, that's how. I guess that's how they were able to just be like, whoop, let's just make that happen. Yeah. That was like kind of his goal. It seemed like for a while anyway. And this was like the perfect all the chaos that happened. This is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that also ties into like when Vic gets not captured, but kind of low-key captured during that moment where he ends up off screen just scheming a plan with some of the Link and some of the other deputy crime lords who have superiors above them. Basically just they're all plotting to like kill off like the boss leaders at some point when they make the transfer with Sophia. I wish there was more time to let that cook as well, because the Link character I thought was cool, but we also don't get to know much about him. So for him to agree to a plan where he's just like, yeah, let's all kill our bosses and take over. That also felt very just like out of nowhere. Yeah,
I think the scene right after the explosion when Vic manages to get them all to the site and they're just like, Oz is dead. The operation's dead.
We got nothing to gain from this.
Yeah, there's why would we, And then Vic's whole speech and stuff. And when he basically called them cowards, and I was like, and they all turned around like, what, ready to kill him?
Yeah.
And then he was talking and saying more stuff, and then Link's the one that stepped up and just like punched him in the gut, and he was just like, know your place, stop talking, basically. I felt like there was something there because I thought Link was like agreeing with him. So I don't know if we were supposed to go back to that scene to see like that's something. I think that might have been the goal.
Because he didn't have to step in and protect him. Exactly. Him punching him is sparing him from getting shot.
Exactly. So that's what I felt that was. So I also agree that I wish there was like some sort of setup, or we saw something.
Just let it cook a little more.
Yeah. For us to be like, okay, they're all turning. Because we got to the airport with Sophia, and then I was just like, huh?
Yeah.
I was like,
everybody popping each other in the head.
Yeah, she was like, huh? And I was like, huh? And it's just like, I don't know, girl. I don't know what's going on. But you're fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was a scene we were supposed to go back to make, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah. And then once that whole thing plays out, we see that Sophia just lost. And I was just like, fuck, is this going to be the point where we lose her? Like, are we really going to kill her?
Yeah.
I still didn't want her dead. Like, I'm still a fan of her. I know she's a problem, but I'm a hardcore Sophia fan. And when Oz was driving her to, like, the bridge, I was like, God damn, this is just classic assassination scene. And then just the scene of him driving her one last time was just so fucking ironic, because even though he's driven her in the past, he's never had control over his life and where it was going. And then now he's being a driver to her again, and he has all the power and control of her life.
Yeah.
So I thought he was really going to just pop her, especially with the slow buildup of the close-up shot of her face looking out into the water. But then we see that the cops show up instead. I was just like, how did Oz hobble away so fast and drive quietly? He must have learned that trick from the Batman, just like disappearing very silently.
Something.
That was funny. I was like, okay, send her to Arkham. We'll use her again. I'm fine with this.
Yeah, no, I know I kept saying that I think she's going to die at the end.
It made sense for her to die.
Yeah, it did make sense. But I think the more I thought about like our previous conversations about the little girl, Gia.
She got to get her revenge. She got to get her come up.
I feel like I would like that. I know that's
future
like
bad.
I don't know. I feel like such a flip flopper. I'm here rooting for Sophia, feeling bad for. I just like I don't know. And then I want this girl to get revenge, and I'm just like, this is the whole problem. It's a cycle. It's a cycle, and it's the same thing, guys. You just break the. But anyways, no, yeah. I thought she was gonna die, and then I was just like, you know what? They can't kill her. Like as I was watching the last episode, I was just like, they can't kill her.
Yeah.
But I was just like, if I feel like they can't kill her, who are they gonna kill? someone has to suffer. So I was like, maybe it's gonna be Frances. But
yeah,
I just feel like that scene where she gets caught, and I was just like, damn, girl, like, you should have just left.
I mean, she was plotting to, but not before getting her revenge.
But exactly, that's the thing.
She
like,
just
leave
left.
the revenge and let it go and just leave.
Couldn't.
But it's just like, I feel like these characters can never leave Gotham. Like,
oh yeah, no,
there's no.
It's a curse.
Yeah, it just you don't.
It's a self-fulfilling
curse.
curse.
You just keep doing this cycle over and over, or you die there.
Yeah,
you know.
And I really appreciated the line that Oz tells her, because I didn't get it at first. We both got pissed off when he was just like, "You going to hell, Sophia." And I'm just like, who are you telling right now, sir?
Her a monster, and I was
your mom called you the devil earlier.
Yes. Oh my god!
But it made sense why he said that, because he knew he wasn't going to kill her. Mm-hmm. He said that she's going to hell because he knew he was sending her ass back to Arkham. Mm-hmm. That is the last thing that she would ever fucking want. Yes. And the fact that he put her there twice.
Yes.
That is nasty work. That is disgusting. That is villainy right there. I'm like, dude, you're going to incur so much debt after this. Like, if all the criminals come out that you fucked over, you better hope Batman's on your side.
Yeah.
So for her to end up back in Arkham, I was like, oh, that is the perfect end for this season, I think, for her.
That's why I was like, she's not going to die, because what could be worse than her dying? To end up right back there.
That's too easy. Yeah, that's freedom, technically.
Exactly.
And then we get like this little scene where Sophia gets a postcard from Julian where it's revealed that Selena Kyle is her half sister. Which
I don't know why I didn't
put that
think
together.
about that. We saw the movie, guys. We saw.
Yeah, I not once did I think about Catwoman. I
wasn't thinking about her. Like, there was just too much shit going on. And I was just like, I totally
forgot. Yeah. Damn, yeah, Carmine Falcone was a whore.
But then, obviously, Sophia wouldn't know about that, so we wouldn't be able to focus on that. So I'm
interesting
like,
team up coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very curious. I wonder if that'll play out in like a series or maybe in the sequel movie. But I'm very curious to see what they're trying to set up with Selena Kyle and Sophia, because I think they have enough reason to work together. So, I don't know. I'm kind of excited for it. As long as you keep Sophia around, because I don't think she should die. Like, I don't know, man. She's too much of a good character to waste right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, I'm very excited for that, whatever that thread is going to be. And I also don't think Sophia's ever going to leave Gotham. Like, once she gets out of Arkham, I don't think she'll ever have desire to, like, live a life outside of Gotham. Like, I think she's just going to live for revenge until it finally, like, catches her.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the darkest point of the story so far. Just the most bittersweet, not even bittersweet. This shit's straight sour to me. This is like sour as fuck. How do we feel about the reveal that Frances is vegetative and Oz is just like completely distraught about it?
Is he distraught about it, or is he distraught about not getting his, his praise? His, I did good. I did good. Say I did good, ma. Say I did good.
Just for once, ma. Tell me I did good.
I hate him.
Yeah.
I was hurting for her, because I was just like, she should have just been able to pass on. She should have been able to just pass on and let that be it. And then he could have just been saying to the sky, like I say I did. But she got to sit there and listen to this devil man beg for her approval after all that he's put her through. I mean, even before the scene where he was going to let her pinky get cut off, she's gone through so much with this guy, just living with this, this secret, knowing that she knows.
Yeah. Living with hate and
when
guilt.
It's finally, like they have this whole intervention for him, basically, he still can't tell the truth. And now that she was able to finally say, I know everything, and tell him how she really feels, her illness, it gets really bad. Mm-hmm. She has the stroke. And then look at where she is now. Like, it's really sad for her, and I hate that for her. Mm-hmm. Like, I really do. I wanted her to be released, and that would be for her to have died and just not have to deal with this anymore. I feel like she's really been through a lot, and I think that's why in previous episodes she really wanted him to kill her or something. But when she comes to, you could see the suffering in her, and then now that we know what we know, it's just like, damn.
Yeah, I think I felt more sympathy for her more than anything else. Mm-hmm. Hearing Oz groveling and just breaking down, I just felt like nothing for him. I'm just like, dude, this is your punishment. This is the payoff that you get after getting what you want.
Yep.
Here's the trade-off. Mm-hmm. But I also did feel sympathy for the mom. I was just like, God fucking damn. Like, I should be celebrating because Oz doesn't get everything he wants, but this is a sad, just awful, tragic ass fucking ending. Like, this is a Shakespearean tragedy.
Yeah.
Just in insane levels of just darkness. And yeah, I really only felt sympathy for Francis, because to have to live with that level of like hate and guilt in your heart for so long, and it doesn't pay off for you in any way.
Yeah.
It just feels like a failed mission in your entire life. Mm-hmm. I get that it was her choice, and I have hate for her as well, because I think she's a bad mom, but also like it's such a complicated, complex situation when it involves your child. I don't know what it's like to be a parent, let alone a parent that has a kid that killed your other children. Mm-hmm. That is just something that just spiritually breaks you. And for her to end up vegetative, that's probably the worst outcome for her, because she asked Oz to end her when that happens, and he doesn't end up doing that for her at all.
Yeah.
He's still trying to keep her like alive-ish. And it was haunting, and I thought that was going to be like the darkest point of the story, and it's not, because then we get to Oz and Vic talking to each other after having mourned the loss of, Francis's consciousness, and you just see Vic and Oz just sitting by the water.
I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this.
Just sitting side by side. It's just like, listen, kid, you did good. You've been by my side every step of the way.
No.
You toying things around for us.
I'm going to go on that bus now, Oz.
Too late. No bus. No bus. That bus was in episode 3. There's no more buses. Whole place blew up. Ain't no buses.
Oh, my God. I'm really, like, I had no words for what.
For when Oz started choking Vic, I was like, what the fuck do you mean? But I was like, I knew that was a possibility as well. I knew that was a possibility. I couldn't see Vic leaving Gotham. There was no... Episode 3 was his one and only chance to get out of there and have a normal... like a potential of normal life. When we see that Oz is choking him out slowly, I was just like, all right, we're going there. We're really going there. I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked. I'm hurt, but I'm not shocked at the same time. It's so weird. I don't know. Take me through your experience.
I can't. I can't. I'm like, you guys don't understand. I'm like genuinely I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what's funny? In our previous episodes where I said that if Francis dies, then I think Vic will be fine. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, if Vic dies, Francis is going to be alive. And I always thought that it was going to be Sophia that, did either one in.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm watching and nothing played out how I predicted, seeing this scene, like, I didn't see it coming at all.
I wasn't emotionally prepared.
I wasn't. I don't know what I didn't want this.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I can say is that I didn't want this. And just seeing it happen, and as like just seeing like him beg, and then knowing that
God, when he
he's
goes, please,
yeah,
please.
knowing that it's not, after he just said like, you're my family.
I think that was probably the most haunting part before the killing, is seeing Oz's facial reaction when Vic says, you're like family to me. Mm-hmm. There's a long pause that he has, and he just takes a swig of alcohol, and he just goes, yeah. He's just like, he's like, sure, family. Yeah, that's what I need right now.
Oh my God.
And then when he's choking him out and just explaining his thought process of why he's getting rid of him, like the line that he says, like, the thing about family is it makes you strong, but fuck if it don't make you weak. I was just like, you're fucking terrible. That's not the lesson you're supposed to take away from this, Oz. Just leave crime behind. But he's too far gone. And him killing Vic is him killing any other like emotional parts he has left as a human that he sees as a weakness, so that he can delve into the world of crime without any sort of distractions of love or affection or any of that stuff.
Because his mom, she told him how
she really feels,
and
that broke him.
That broke him, and like she's a prisoner. Like, she's literally a prisoner, and she can't say or do anything. So he's not going to get the approval from her. Mm-hmm. But he also still has her there. Like, it feels like as punishment for what she said to him and how she really feels. This guy's just awful. Like, he's He's still lying to himself.
He's deluding himself even further.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it was mad disrespectful that Oz took Vic's government ID and tossed it in the water. I was just like, is that a jab that you're throwing right now? Are you telling him he can join his family in the water?
I felt that. like, I felt like
come, and then took his cash too. I'm like, what are you going to do with that cash?
I don't know which one I'm more. Yeah, I don't know which one I'm more offended at. You took the cash from this boy, or you took his his ID
and spiritually drowned him.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna keep it, because I'm just like you. I mean, whether you leave the ID, but I had said that's really close to the body. They can find that easily. They can find that easily. But then you were just like, it's Gotham. They're busy right now. He's just gonna be like a.
They'll find him in like a week.
Yeah, they're not gonna pay attention to this, and he has no family. The only thing that I could say where someone would know who he is the girl who left, his girlfriend. But I don't think she's coming back, especially when she see on the news that whole place just blow up. She's not doing it.
Yeah. So damn, man, rest in peace, Vic. Like, I was not ready. I knew that could be a possibility. I didn't think they were gonna go through with it.
Yeah, especially this way. Like, I thought he would have like got hurt like in the crossfire. Or
yeah, this was the most intimate way of getting killed.
Yes.
And I think it just hammers home how this show is focused on straight up criminals. These are not morally good people in any way. They're not anti-heroes. They're not low-key heroes. They're not sympathetic. They are straight up just awful, villainous people. And this is how you do that show. And this feels like a result of feeling like you can have some sort of bond with anybody in this type of world. And this is a revelation that, no, if you turn to this life, you are on your own. Even if you think you're surrounded by people that are there for you. Yeah. You're not. It's no different than when you join a gang and you think you've got protection. You're just throwing yourself in the fire. Yeah. So as difficult and as hard as it was to watch Vic go, I appreciated the lesson that the show was trying to impart in the end of this, because there is no room for family. Even Sophia couldn't have room for what she wanted. That ended up fucking her over. So there goes that theory of Vic possibly joining Batman's side in the future one day. Oh, and then finally we get that scene in the penthouse. You mentioned that Oz keeps Francis around kind of like a trophy. Yeah, it kind of she just feels like furniture at this point because she's vegetative. She can't respond to him in any way because he's still trying to like prove to her like, look, Ma, I got you the penthouse, I got you the view of the city, this is what you wanted. But then you get the shot of her from a side profile and she's crying.
See the tear roll down, and I'm just.
And I don't know. I wanted to ask you, what was your interpretation of that tear that she had rolling down?
She can't get out of this. I just felt like she's just like, this is what I have to still deal with, and I can't do anything. I really just feel like she's a prisoner at this point. She finally got everything she wanted to say, like, off her chest, and let him know that she knew everything, that she hated him. Basically, that she would rather he be dead, like even if she has to do it herself at this point. But now she's just stuck here, and I don't know, maybe she's feeling some regret about maybe not having him go for that ride, not doing something different, because this is what she gets now. In a sense, like, yes, this is what she wanted. She got what she wanted, and she didn't know how it would play out. Yeah. It's kind of like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is what you wanted, but I was just like, fuck. Yeah. Like, I really felt like, damn, this sucks for her.
Yeah, I think that's how I interpreted it too. She was just really like, this isn't what I want at all. Like, I just want to be gone. I told you that I wanted you to kill me if I ever get to a vegetative state or if I lose my mind. Oz didn't do that. Instead, he's still propping her up because he's still trying to get that approval. Yeah, her just like being aware enough to cry and to know that like, shit, like this is not what I wanted at all. It wasn't supposed to play out this way, and Oz will never see that. He'll never understand that. He's too fixated on getting what he wants to emotionally satisfy himself. And I thought that'd be the end of it, and then they stab you in the wound that you already have when it's revealed that Eve is back, dressed up as Francis at the jazz club.
Sick.
Same dress, same makeup, same hair, is behaving and talking like her. And Oz is just like dancing with her and just telling her just everything, like, tell me this, tell me that, tell me I did good. And I was just like, this dude is demented. He is not normal in the head. He is not sane.
Do you think Eve was like fine being there, or it's just like, this is just a job?
She wasn't forced into it. She wanted to do this. She could have said no. She could have been gone. She have? I think she could have, especially since Oz is connected to the fact that Sophia's father had killed so many of her women, like 7 of them. Those were her friends. And for Eve to like sort of like sell out and just flip-flop and go back to working with Oz, I was just like, it's Gotham. It's fucking Gotham. Like, these people are not going to try to get out. I mean, again, it's damn near impossible to get out of poverty. Like, you can't just up and move unless you're going to plan to be homeless and on the road for a while. That's like the alternative.
Yeah.
But man, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't disappointed in seeing Eve go right back to Oz after she just had that partnership with Sophia and be like, listen, here's where Oz is. Take your shot.
Yeah.
And then for her to just come right back and play the creepiest fucking role that she's played so far for Oz, I was like, fuck everyone.
I don't know. I don't feel like she really wants to be there. I feel like it's out of fear. It's just there's no getting out, like you said. Like, no one gets out of Gotham. But I can't imagine her wanting to be there, especially like you said, everything that was revealed to her about what happens to, like, you know, her girls. And Oz knew. Like, I felt
that was a betrayal for me, for her character. Because I think she genuinely had... Otherwise, she wouldn't give up Oz's position. Like, she has some level of morality. And for her to go back to Oz because he's now, again, the most powerful crime lord around, I was just like, I was rooting for you, Eve. I was rooting for you. I know that you had to do what you had to do, but this is just like, no, I disapprove. I can't. Go back and try again. Go back and try again.
Only going back, she's going to be going back to an early grave like Dick because...
I feel like going back to Oz is also just at some point, it's going to get you killed. Probably. You cannot trust this guy at all. I don't know. There's no right decisions in Gotham. I don't know what to make of any of this other than just pure pain. I'm in pain. And I think that's what the show was kind of meant to make you feel, because we're focusing on criminals. So I think you're supposed to be feeling left with like disgust and just like being thankful that you're not in a position like that.
Yeah.
And I think it just takes a pretty honest look at what it's like from the perspective of criminals. Like, I think it's a huge stepping stone for media that like explores criminals, because we don't get a lot of comic book movies that follow villains. I mean, we got like 3 or 4 fucking things from Sony where none of them were fucking villains, and they're just like these goofy cartoon characters. So I really appreciated the hell out of this show. I think it nailed it out of the park. It's damn near perfect for me. So I don't know. I don't have any more thoughts on this show. Yeah. What about you? Any last thoughts?
I thought it was really a really good show, and it just kept, like, every episode, it just kept being like, oh my god, like this, like, what more could you do to me?
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, there's just it's a lot. I thought this was like a really good show, and everything we saw with Sophia getting the letter, and, you know, Oz now being on the council and getting his penthouse, and the very last scene where they had the bat signal. Yeah, all that is going to be leading into the second Batman movie. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I don't know if Penguin's going to be like in that. I don't know what the story's supposed to be. If they
nobody knows
that. So, but I'm looking forward to it now. I'm just like, I don't know. DC is actually doing something that I'm paying attention to. So, I mean, if I were to rate this whole entire season, I would definitely give it the most potato. I feel like it never stopped. I could rewatch this. I could, but I don't think I'm not right now. I need some time.
Give me a year.
I'm grieving. But it's definitely rewatchable. I don't know how you feel about that. Like, if you feel like it's definitely rewatchable, if it's like...
If I can rewatch Chernobyl 6 times, I think I could handle this.
I don't know.
Though it will hurt more because of the Vic situation. This one definitely hit for me, and I'm giving it the most potato as well. I have barely any flaws for me to like bring down the score. It's a very airtight story for the most part. It's every episode just utilizes its time perfectly. There's never been like an episode that felt like a waste of time at all. And the overall story of all the characters that they introduced was just, they all had their arcs that they needed, and that's really all I could ask for like a damn near perfect show. So it's the most potato for me. It's got just everything you could ever want in this show, except Vic. Sorry. Too soon. Guys, let us know all your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think of episode 8? How did you feel about Vic's death? How did you feel about the Penguin? getting completely soul crushed by his mom. Just let us know all your thoughts. You can grieve and cry in the comments with us as well. Yes. Let us know any theories that you might have for the sequel movie, or maybe potential shows as well. And just hold your loved ones very close.
But not too
close. We're just like...
Too soon.
Too soon. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like the video, subscribe, hit notification bells, share this with your mom, your crime lords, your crime son. Don't hurt them either. And we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.